across Texas. The issue is.
I'm Greg Grugan in Houston.
I'm Rudy Koski in Austin.
And I'm Stephen Dial in Dallas. And this is Texas. The issue is.
Productive hand up or wasteful handout? The debate over offering economically challenged Americans a guaranteed monthly income has simmered across our country for years. Here in Texas, the contentious issue is now before the state Supreme Court after Attorney General Ken Paxton challenged a controversial Harris County plan to shell out $20 million worth of $500 monthly stipends to low-income recipients via a lottery. And while the dispersal is on indefinite hold, the dispute over the merits and the politics continues in the public square.
Uplift Harris is about helping struggling families make ends meet, put food on the table, and keep the lights on.
You just can't give out money on street corners like popcorn because that really is lottery socialism.
As we know, after the pandemic, prices went up sky high, and it has been proven to be successful. Stop picking on poor people. Guys, let's work on other things.
Why stop at $500 a month? Why don't we give them $10,000 a month to have them be truly in the middle class? This is a giant joke.
And Ken Paxton is playing political games with their lives. And I ask that Mr. Paxton come down and meet with some of these families and tell them straight to their face and see what it was that they were going to use those dollars for.
You're not letting us go give out $500 a month to buy votes, and therefore you're threatening democracy. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, it just sort of wears you out.
Why the heck does Ken Paxton care? This is not state money, this is federal money, and we're trying to help people.
Putting more people on government dependency doesn't solve the problem of inequality.
And I know some members of the Texas Supreme Court, when it gets there, I hope they will rise above petty political partisanship.
You can't have a lottery giveaway by zip code of a benefit that has no governmental benefit with no strings attached, and you're violating the Texas gift clause by doing it. And that's why Paxton's suit is righteous, and no amount of demagoguery is going to change the facts of the case.
What they care about is maintaining a system that favors billionaires and starving working families.
The court of public opinion, in terms of people I've talked to the person, they think this is a bad idea. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, the feedback to me is this isn't right.
I do not expect that we're going to get a fair shot, but we're going to do everything we can in the courtroom to ensure that the legal arguments are made and that this program is protected.
When you have folks dying in the jail, I think our money would be much more well spent in addressing those incredible needs than trying to find several hundred people to give $500 a month to.
You hope that if this pilot program goes well, we could make a case to the Congress, to the state, all the taxpayers here.
Okay, fellas, after that exchange, my one-word reaction is patronage. Stephen, how about you?
Slippery slope.
All right, Rudy, lay it on me.
Guys, my word for that is the word that I use for the way I feel about both of you. Unconditional.
Okay, plenty more to discuss here with the Fox Texas Trio, and we'll return on the other side of this break. Welcome back. Taxpayer-funded, no-strings-attached, regular cash payments to folks struggling to make ends meet. Harris County isn't the first Texas community to experiment with guaranteed income, but it is the first challenge by State Attorney General Ken Paxton. Rudy, the city of Austin initiated a similar subsidy program. How's it working out?
Hey, Greg, yeah, a very noble endeavor, but a very limited endeavor, especially here in Austin. Austin's program, you know, when it was originally launched in 2022, provided $1,000 to 135 households at a cost of just over $1 million. Now, a survey of the recipients found that on average, more than a half of the cash that was used, to cover things like housing costs, pay for rent, catch up on rent so they wouldn't get evicted. After that, the money was spent on things like food and their kids and transportation. Some folks, even in answering the survey, said that they just saved the money put it there for a rainy day. Now, the program was reauthorized in April by the Austin City Council with $1.34 million. The goal of this reboot is to help go beyond rent and food stability. But how? Well, that remains unclear. And the number of households being helped with this reboot apparently is going to decrease to just under 100. So noble, but limited, Greg.
All right, Stephen, the city of Dallas has experimented with handing out public assistance checks. How's that pilot working out?
Well, and as you mentioned, multiple cities are doing something like this. My point is, and I mentioned slippery slope because it can be a slippery slope, but my thing is, if this is federal funds, what does Ken Paxton or state lawmakers have to do with it? I think that's a valid question. Now, I said slippery slope because, yes, you don't want to just be handing out money and having no discretion as to what overreach the person can spend the money on, what items, yada, yada, yada. But if this is not state funds, I don't understand why Harris County just happens to be the convenient county that the Attorney General is targeting right now.
Okay, Rudy, let's talk politics here. Republicans are calling UBI 21st century welfare and a pretty thinly disguised scheme to buy votes. I'm guessing that interpretation would be the majority view at the GOP state capitol.
Well, as I mentioned, it's not a lot of people involved, so it's not a lot of votes, and I can't let Stephen get away with the yada, yada, yada. Calling that one out there, Stephen. That was great. Austin city attorneys believe they are on solid legal ground to withstand a challenge by Attorney General Ken Paxton if one comes to Austin. That's because Austin is a home rule city and not a county like Harris County, and that home rule status gives Austin more authority to enact a program like this guarantee income. And while the Austin program comes with no conditions, there's my word, unconditional, it's argued that surveys of participants show that the program achieves a public purpose. So, it's justified, right? Well, it's worth noting that LBJ considered trying this idea on the federal level as part of his Great Society programs. It didn't work on the federal side, and criticals describe that idea, that attempt, as nothing more than government entrapment, keeping people locked down in a bad situation and not helping it. Because if it's just one-time money, where's the help, right?
All right, Stephen, politics aside, there are critics here who say Harris County has no business handing out cash when it's facing a budget deficit and has plenty of pressing challenges like an overcrowded jail and an underpaid workforce. So my question is there a solid case to be made that guaranteed income should be prioritized when taxpayer dollars are limited?
Yeah, and I think that can be a valid response, right? I'm not for this whole partisan, Harris County is just handing out money. Say Harris County should not hand out money because Harris County is in debt. That is, or does not have money, has a budget deficit. That is a more valid reasoning and explanation than to just turn this into a political thing of, it's welfare, it's just handing out money, it's buying votes. Like Rudy explained in the Austin situation, I mean, if you're buying votes, and every vote does count, but these small numbers are not going to drastically swing the governor's race or Senate race. And so I don't buy the buying votes thing, but I can understand the criticism if the county is strapped for cash.
Just for the record, 76,000 people applied here in Harris County. Not all of them won. 1,900 got chosen. A final question for you both. Any chance this survives review by the highly conservative Texas Supreme Court? Rudy, you first.
I think two things. It may hinge on the fact that it really doesn't address the core problem of housing affordability, inflation, resolving those issues. It also may hinge on how the court defines and views the term unconditional, that aspect of the programs. Also, the selection process. Here's a left field one for you guys. Are these programs really just illegal lotteries?
All right, Stephen, 20 seconds. Does this pass muster?
I think it could get hung up on the fact that the selection process, like Rudy mentioned, and then it really just comes down to, does the county have the right to do something like this? We'll have to wait and see.
All right, that's all the time we have. To see this episode, go to our station's YouTube page.
And keep the conversation going by interacting with us on social media.
Next week, same time, same place, there's always an issue here in Texas, and we'll dive into it. The Fox 6 Trio will be back next Sunday night. Until then, remember to let us know what you think the issue is.